Good morning, friends. Happy Memorial Day. Yeah. Good morning. Welcome to those of you who are new at Unity of Fort Collins. I heard minutes ago that we have run out of welcome packets. How could that be true? I don't even know. So if you got one, it's precious. And if you didn't get one, you can have one next time you come, next week. Please come back. I'm grateful for everybody who's here today. There's lots of action out in the world, so happy travels to our other folks. And good morning to our friends online. So I have a couple of announcements today, and we have a group of folks who are lining up for announcements. Our speaker today is Reverend Jim Yeaw. Our reader is Gloria Willis, and our musician is Elise Wonder. Woohoo! Our own Elise. And the choir and the band. Okay. We got a whole range we've got the best of the best. That's awesome. Good. Our youth and family program this month is focusing on being present in the month of May. And today their topic is always a choice, an innate choice. Wouldn't that be awesome if you learned that kind of stuff as a kid? There's always a choice, huh? Okay, our chaplain today is Gloria Willis. Gloria? Here? Yes, come on up. Right here. Right here.
Good morning, everyone. I am the prayer chaplain today, and I would like to invite anyone who has something on their heart that they feel like prayer would support them to join me in the Myrtle Room right after the service.
Back here, Myrtle Room, down the hallway. And if the door is closed and there's a lineup, just sit and be patient for a minute because Gloria is awesome. Come on up.
Good morning. It's great to see so many people here on a Memorial Day weekend. Yay, love that. I'm just putting a plug in for the bookstore. We got some new books in this last week, Thich Nhat Hanh, Pema Chodron, David Hawkins. And just a reminder that we always have a sales shelf where there's a good handful of books that are 50% off. And then we also have books that are like extras from our library, which is just down the hallway, which I should put a plug in for the library because it's awesome also. And those are just love offerings. So we have everything at every price point. We also still have some of those amazing music from Jan and JD. So we got a bunch of their CDs, so don't miss out on that. So stop by.
I'm back here about the fundraiser to give you guys some ideas for what we're doing. We've got about 7 or 8 people signed up, and we'd like to have about 15 or 20 activities or events. And these are some of the things we've got already, but more could happen. Dinner parties. We don't have a concert yet. Some people help with gardening, if pulling weeds or something like that. These are things that you guys can maybe say, hey, I could do that. Dog walking, we have somebody doing that. We have actually an art class kind of with a picnic. Music classes, computer work, handyman services, bicycle repair, organizing, pizza party, wine and cheese, healing sessions. We've got some of those. Guided meditation, cooking classes, seminars, pancake breakfast, game nights with the snacks. So if you go over there, you can get an application to fill it out. And this is a way we have fun, learn to meet other people in the community, and raise some money. Thanks.
Let's bring that back down. Good morning. Good morning. I'm Denise Johnson, and I am also announcing something fun. Our June Unity Family Fun Night will be at Kurt and I's house. We're doing it again this year on June 21st from 6 to 8 p.m. And when we say Unity Family Fun Night, that means Unity Family. That doesn't mean that you have to have a child or children or, bring your grandparents, but you can. But it's our Unity family. Everybody's invited, young and young at heart. We had a great time last year. Also, I wanted to thank Polestar for their Unity Family Fun Night they did in May. A great time was had by all. If you want more information, it's online. We have some cards up front. You can ask anybody on the welcome team. We'd be glad to tell you more about it. Thank you so much.
I can do a knee bend. Good morning, everyone, and also those online. I'm Kimber, and it's almost summertime, and so that means it's Salad for the Soul time. We've been doing this annual fundraiser for quite a few years now. It's coming up on Sunday, June 9th. It will be immediately after service. And what is Salad for the Soul? It's a fundraiser for persons who, low-income families, up to 200% of the federal poverty line. So it's through CSAs, and quite a few CSAs do participate in this. And our goal for fundraising is $700, and that's what we have met in the past. So I'm gonna, it's the only clipboard this morning. I'm going to pass around the clipboard for those of you who are interested in coming, and let us know if you can bring a salad, dessert, or bread, and then help us out with setup and cleanup. Thank you.
Okay, the coolest news, in addition to Salad for the Soul, is we have a troop of Tibetan monks who are coming on the same day as the Salad for the Soul. So our monks are doing a healing ceremony, a Buddhist chant for the hour, and then we'll eat salad with them. Isn't that perfect? Yeah, okay. Our community lunch bunch is going to the Star of India today after the service. We have a council meeting today after the service, so we won't be going to the Star of India. But we are discussing the possibility of contracting for a Montessori preschool to be here on our in our building. So more to come about that, but we're exploring. The Montessori concept is a beautiful child center. It's a child center approach, and it fits with Unity philosophy really brilliantly. So more to come on that. Unity of Fort Collins is participating in upcoming Pride events. We've had some folks here who are interested in helping coordinate. Do we have hands up? Come here, come on up.
I guess I'm the token lesbian now. So, I guess I'm going to be in charge. So, any other lesbians out there that want to help? Great. Anyway, if we could meet real quick afterwards. Also, if you're straight too, you can join. It's okay. I have like 5 minutes afterwards, but I would like to try to get something together because it happens, I think it's the last week in June. So he's coming up soon. So, yeah. All right.
We are also, this is such a sweet community and a safe place for our GLBTQ folks. So We don't need any tokens here. We need an open community because this kind of spiritual safety is a beautiful thing. So we welcome all folks. Our office is closed for Memorial Day. The ACA New Hope group is going to start up meeting again Wednesday, June 5th. Our art wall is bare. I just hate that. I like to look back and say, turn and look at that. So Janice Ballard was coordinating the art wall, but she had some very cool things where instead of it being just one artist showcase, which is fine, we can do that, but she had this collective thing going because it's nerve-wracking to do your own art show, but if there's a theme, lots of people were excited to contribute a piece of work. So if you're interested in helping coordinate the art wall, it's so much fun. Tell Julie. Yard sale scheduled for June 29th, and summer camp coming up for co-hosted by Unity and Polestar Gardens. Whew. That's it for the announcements. All right, let's join together in our centering prayer. Our unity centers us in light and peace, allowing us to recognize our God within and to radiate that love to the world. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Please join in. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together in love. We are many textures, we are many colors, each one different from the other, but we are entwined with one another in one great tapestry. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together in love. We are instruments. We are different instruments playing our own melody, each one tuning to a different key. But we are playing in harmony in one great symphony. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together in love. A moment ago, we did not know our unity, only diversity. Now the Christ in me greets the Christ in thee in one great family. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together in love. Weave us together. Weave us together in love. job, everyone. And now for Gloria.
Good morning again. Good morning again. Oh, good to see you all this morning. The reading is from this book, Living Between Two Worlds, by Joel Goldsmith. The highest form of consciousness, pure consciousness, is spirit. To understand consciousness will enable us to understand the nature of omnipresence, because it is consciousness that is omnipresent. With the first glimpse of the meaning of omnipresent, there dawns in thought the truth that whatever omnipresence is, it formed the universe. There is a certain relative relationship between water and land, and probably there is some reason for this. The stars and planets move in fixed orbits, and there must be a reason for that too. The omnipresence that formed the universe must be a divine and infinite intelligence.
I would like to welcome the choir up. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for love. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for love. Yeah. No more struggles, no more strife, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I see the light. I'm free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for love. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for love. That was my love. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open. It's open wide. I said I'm only here for love. Only here for love. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for love. Yes, I'm only here. Yes, I'm only here for love. Yeah, I says I'm only here for love. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elise, and choir, and band, and you. Isn't that a good reason to be here? So just feel the love. Just feel it in this moment. It's present in this place. I did something unusual over this past week. While I was preparing for this lesson, I happened to hear on television that some professors at our university over here are kind of upset because students are using AI to create their papers. So I said to myself, I wonder if I could use that to create a Sunday message. So I did that. I came up with all these pages. Look at them all. So I think this morning, don't fear, because I'm going to give you a condensed Reader's Digest version. But you know what? If you're interested in this subject, I created an ebook, so if you email me, I'll send it to you. And one of the things that I found in doing this is that God has made a return to the world of cosmology and physics. Let me show you something on the screen here in a minute. Look at these books. And there's dozens more that I could show you. You know, Stephen Hawking's A Brief History of Time. Leon Letterman, his book, The God Particle. Frank Tipler wrote a book called The Physics of Immortality, Modern Cosmology, God and the Resurrection of the Dead. Holy moly. And so we that are attached to religious organizations say, yay! Einstein has finally put God in his equations. We're finally recognizing science and God. And so we get all excited about it. Well, what in the name is God doing near physics and cosmology? Does it help or hinder us in understanding the way things are? The astronomer George Moot discovered ripples in the cosmic microwaves that are left over from the Big Bang. In one of his statements to the press, he said, "It's like seeing the face of God." Wow, look at that. That's a picture taken from a telescope. And he called it seeing the face of God. When we use the word God, it's a word that implies a personality or a personhood, and these physicists don't really want to go there. So what they do is they call it source or ground of all being, but really they are discovering the face of God, even though they call it by something else. And you notice, I noticed in particularly unity churches, there tends to be a scattering of individuals. They kind of get uptight when I say God. They don't want to use that word God, because God carries a certain amount of baggage with it. They remember their old Sunday school. They remember those mean and cruel stories from the Hebrew scriptures. Something causes them to pause whenever that word God is used. So maybe it's a good thing to use the word source or spirit. Even the song today, "I'm only here for God," is the way the original lyrics were written. But we sing, "I'm only here for love." But God is love, so same thing, isn't it? So when we look at this, it might be good Might be wonderful to talk in terms of divine intelligence and hold back a little bit from that word God. The word God does imply a personality. All of our entanglements with religious backgrounds, or even secular societies with roots in religious backgrounds, they kind of appear whenever we use that word God. Well, 2,500 years ago, a man by the name of Plato went even farther than that. He argued that the material universe must have been preceded by consciousness. And Gloria read a passage a few minutes ago about consciousness. And out of consciousness, everything arose. Here's some of Plato's writings. And he said, first of all, in the eons of time, there appeared something called consciousness. It always has existed. It's always been there. And then something happened. And materiality arose out of that consciousness. In fact, Plato even went as far as saying, when you learn something, it's just a process of remembering. Because all knowledge, all intelligence, everything is embedded in that consciousness. A few years after that, this man, St. Paul, we call him, was speaking to a crowd in Athens. Now, that crowd in Athens, they weren't Christians and they weren't Jewish. So how did he describe God to those people sitting there that day in Athens? He said, God is the source of all, and it is that in which we live and move and have our being. Sounds like the same thing, doesn't it? Thank you for the background music. That's all right. God is that in which we live and move and have our being. Play that tune again. Good. Good. God is that in which we live and move and have our being. Just think about that a minute, the implications of that. I love those words. I think it really describes it. God is that in which we live and move and have our being. That consciousness is what we call unity. But we live in it. We are it. We move in it. We have our being in it. And it really makes a lot of sense. The consciousness that we have is the consciousness of the source. Everything that we have, the fact that we breathe, is the breath of the source. There's nothing else. This is Paul Tillich. He's a theologian. He's a 20th century theologian. Look at what he said. Paul Tillich was critical of the view of God as a type of being or a presence. He felt that if God were a being, God could not then properly be called the source of being. All right? As an alternative, he just that God be understood as the ground of all being, that which everything arises from. Now, you know, in stating this, I'm very much in agreement with most of the world's religions. In fact, Kamina, she has a wonderful ministry here of pranic healing. Well, this same thing, this consciousness is called prana in the Eastern religions. In the Chinese religion, it's called qi, Qi, it's qi. The native religions call it the Great Spirit. It's that which is under everything, from which everything comes forth. Well, Doesn't it sound like this? In the beginning was the Word. In the beginning was consciousness. In the beginning was intelligence. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. So that consciousness is God. God is not an imaginary guy in the sky. God is that which underlies and gives birth to everything, from which everything arises. And the Word was God. So right in our own Christian scriptures, we find a similar message. Now, what did Jesus think about this? If we tap into the Gospels and look at it, you'll find Jesus talking about the source. And there's a sentence. For everyone who asks receives. He who seeks finds, and to him who knocks the door will be opened. That source is an inexhaustible source of everything that we need, want, desire in our lives. And Jesus said, all you need to do is ask. All you need to do is ask. And it manifests itself. Charles Fillmore called it bringing something to being out of substance, he called it. So there's different words for the same thing. Now down below there, something strange that Jesus said right after he talked about Daddy or God, or Jesus had a relationship with the source that is deeply explained in the Gospels. He called the source Daddy, beloved Father, beloved provider. And we can have that same relationship. But then he goes on in the next paragraph. Luke. What father among you, if his son asks for a fish, will give him a snake instead? Or if he asks for an egg, will give him a scorpion? Why did he bring up that message? Well, let me have you think about that for a moment. It's because the stories in the Hebrew Testament, these stories are not about God. Jesus was a Jew, and he was constantly talking about the fact, I tell you this, or you have heard that, but I say this. Moses said this, but I say that. He was constantly giving us a new direction or a new insight into what God was. And in the Hebrew Testament, this is a scene. He was talking about the time when the children of Israel were in the desert and their children were starving. They needed bread to eat, needed water to drink. And they said to Moses, Moses, tell God we're starving to death here. We're starving to death. Get some food for us. And so Moses did exactly that, and this was the results. God sent snakes and serpents. You see, the God of the Old Testament is not the God that we know that is shared with us by science and most of the world's religions and mysticism and shamanism. It's not the same God. These are stories in the Hebrew Testament that were written when they were in Babylon. You see, the Hebrew people didn't have a national epic. They didn't have a history. And so what they did is they borrowed some stories and they wrote some stories in such a way as to give them a national identity and eventually lead them to believe that they were the promised children of God. But it was their stories, their folk tales. But that is not the God that we know from science or technology or most of the world's religions. What do you think of that? The children of Israel are in Babylon, so they wrote this great national epic. And they made up stories about what they think God was like. So today we've got two gods behind two different doors. We got the God of experience and love and compassion that is the source of all that is. And then we've got these other stories of genocide and murder and rape and wiping out whole populations. Paul Tillich is using a language very similar to Paul's. There is that in which we move, live and move and have our being. Plato's works provide an amazing summary of the world into which Jesus and his apostles stepped. As they began their teaching, the Gospel of John suggests that Jesus and those that wrote about him may have had a very similar vision of God as the one Plato described. So Plato has this idea that in the beginning there was consciousness, and then consciousness fractalized, that means split apart, and to form the material universe. Our consciousness, everything that we are, comes from that source consciousness. It individuates. We have an experience on our planet right now of separate consciousness, but that needs to be rethought. The Gospel of John says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. So, as we look at this subject, I'm very comfortable in using the word God, but I love going to the Apostle Paul's definition. The source of the cosmos and everything in it, including you, including me, is that which we all live and move and have our being. I find that definition and that word source much more helpful. Another reason that I think the God language can be a little unhelpful is there's such a thing as source energy. We need to tap into that energy. There is source energy. Scientists are writing about it. They're tapping that energy that generates the cosmos. They speak in scientific terms. It's more helpful if we're going to ask questions about how to tap into that energy, discovering healing in many ways, loving relationships, everything else. Many of the great mystics through history have a similar viewpoint. Simeon, a theologian of the 10th century, all the way from him to Meister Eckhart, they spoke in terms of learning to operate with divine energies, learning to tap the divine energies in order to clear our consciousness, learn to achieve greater insight. And if science and scientists can speak in those terms, then I think we can see a confluence of thinking that is less anthropomorphic. That's a big word. We make God in our image. Meister Eckhart, he would talk about the Godhead or divinity rather than Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. It wasn't that he didn't believe in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. He was a good Catholic. In fact, he was a Dominican friar. But he said that divinity has revealed itself to us as Father, Son, and Holy Spirit Now let me tell you about that divinity that you can live. He spoke about tapping divine energy. That's the reason I think it's very helpful to look at some of the thinking that revolves around the word God. Because when we say God, we think about religion and rules and who's in and who's out. We think about heaven and hell. We think about sin and obedience. We think about worship and idolatry. We talk about exclusiveness. Jesus, when he's talking about the source, said, get beyond that type of thinking. Transform your thinking. Go beyond separate thinking because of the amazing power of the source. The amazing power of the cosmos is available to us. So that's an invitation, really, to explore a possibility that's open to all. The amazing power of the cosmos is available to all of us. And so we go back to Paul's words. The source of the cosmos is that in which we live, in which we move, in which we have our being. And I really can't think of a more powerful invitation to explore what's possible for human beings. The Roman Empire reframed the whole of Christianity as a religion of compliance, where being a good Christian was being a good citizen. The two became indistinguishable. Christianity became a political servant. It was a religion of obedience and worship. And I believe that one of the things that have been said about unity is that we're the next best hope, because Christianity needs to emerge as a philosophy that is far more interesting and more amazingly motivating. That is why we probably shouldn't get caught up into whether we use the word God or don't use the word God. I think it's more helpful to ask more open questions about what is going on. We need to ask, where did everything come from? Who are we? Where do we fit into this great puzzle? And we must be willing to explore together and follow whatever it leads us. Just something to think about. Thanks to AI, huh? Yes. That AI was accessible to you on open source. Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's right. Open source. Thank you, Gerald. I didn't include that in my notes. Well, let's go ahead and have our piece of music here as we go into meditation.
I actually asked AI to write a love song. And I was like, oh, stop it. It was actually pretty good. But then I asked it to write like 5 other songs, and then I saw through. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and all that God is everywhere.
you advance the slide once? In our time of meditation, I'd like us to look at something that Alan Watts wrote. And then think about it as something personal for you. You are something the whole universe is doing in the same way a wave is something the whole ocean is doing. You are something the whole universe is doing the same way a wave is something the whole ocean is doing. You are part of the universe. You are the consciousness that flows through everything. You are the consciousness that flows through everything. And at this very moment is flowing through your unique human presence. So you gently close your eyes. Just bring that image into your awareness in this moment. I am the consciousness. I am the presence that's flowing through everything. I am the presence that's flowing through everything. I am a fraction of that source. What is being breathed into this universe right now is also breathing me. I am connected to everything. Every sentient being is that which is arising out of consciousness. And I am that. And so may we remember. May we remember that we are that. And as we step out into our world, may we act in ways and have that awareness and bring peace and love and source consciousness to this world. For we pray that in the name of our master teacher, Jesus the Christ. Amen.
May the blessings of God rest upon me. May God's peace abide in me. May God's presence illuminate my heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon you. May God's peace abide in you. May God's presence illuminate your heart now and forevermore. May the blessings of God rest upon us. May God's peace abide in us. May God's presence illuminate our hearts now and forevermore. Now and forevermore.
Come to the time of our service where we are grateful, first of all. So let's take our offering and just hold it in our hands or in our hearts and be grateful for just a moment. And then let's bless our offering with the words on the screen. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God.
It's been such a beautiful spring. It has been quite windy, though. You think you own whatever land you land on, and the earth is just some dead thing you can claim. But I know every rock and tree and creature has a life, has a spirit, has a name. You think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you. But if you walk in the footsteps of a stranger, you'll learn things you never knew you never knew. Have you ever heard the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or asked the grinning bobcat why he grinned? Can you sing with all the voices of the mountain? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Can you paint with all the colors of the wind? Come run the hidden pine trails of the forest. Come taste the sun-sweet berries of the earth. Come roll in all the riches all around us, and for once never wonder what they're worth. The rainstorms and the rivers are my brothers. The heron and the otter are my friends, and we are all connected to each other in a circle, in a hoop that never ends. How high does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, then you'll never know. And you'll never hear the wolf cry to the blue corn moon, or whether we have white or copper skin. You need to sing with all the voices of the mountain. You need to paint with all the colors of the wind. You can own the earth and still all you own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind.
Do you notice it's the same message? The same message? Everything comes from source, even the colors of the wind. Well, I think we're going to welcome some kids in here, are we not? Where are they?
this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I said, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Here on the corner of Lions and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine. I said, here on the corner of Lions and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine. Here on the corner of Lions and Vine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
We did some qigong thing. I don't know how to describe it. Just like thing in motion and yeah. Okay, here you go.
Okay, what was the unison thing? What were we going to say all together?
We always have a choice.
So we did the qigong, and then we also played the instruments. And one person would choose a beat, and then everybody else would follow.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead and go and see your. Do you notice now with Nancy and her staff how eager these kids come up? Yeah. Thank you, Nancy, and those that work with you. So, shall we terminate this party or? Circle up. Okay, thank you, Francie. All right. Thank you. Oh, David. Okay, together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.